before it fills the register. And so it gives the result. It survived. 2022 was a bear year, so it survived that. It actually did good on that one. And so we give the composite score per stock. You get the news sentiment. It explains all of this. I'll keep going on. Picking the heating stocks. Yeah, it caught NVIDIA, Supermicro, Palantir, Coin, and all the other ones. It did well. And then it talk about my tech stack. So, I use like LumiBot. I use the Polygon API, Alpaca, Botspot, GitHub in my local laptop. One thing I noticed is that when I ran my back test, it was like 10 times faster than it was on a cloud. And that's one thing I noticed. It talks about the back test speed. So on the laptop, I can run like almost a 5-year back test, and I can run in 5 minutes. But when I try to run in the bot spot, it took between 30 and 50 minutes. So I was able to increase it on that. And then I was able to run like 4 back tests in parallel on my laptop. And so it ran fast. It gives an explanation about running on my laptop. And it gives like the branch structure of my code. I just created like a different branch in order to do the momentum. And here's the surprises. The obvious approach lost money. The multi-stock news trading, they lost 5%. Like I talked about, the universe selection bias is huge with the look ahead. It included Palantir and Supermicro accounted for 50% of the alpha. And less position sizing, which I talked about, it costs us money. So 60% neutral, which was leaving like 300,000 on the table. And then there was a bug when I actually traded live with the paper account. There was a race condition where it bought 7 buys instead of 1. So it did not wait for it to fill. And then it tried to buy before it was able to fill. So I was using margin money when I wasn't, because like I had like a $10,000 account. And then when I looked at what it had bought almost $20,000 worth of stock. And so I asked, like, why you buying $20,000 worth of stock? I only have a $10,000 account. And it actually bought on margin. So it had to change the code in order to make it work properly. And also with the 2022 bear was a validation that both strategies stayed profitable while TQQQ had lost 82% that year.
That's a bad year for TQQ.
Yeah, it was. And so on the multi-parameter for let's get what the algorithm is called, the momentum, Claude wanted to use like 5 stocks to play a sailor, but I saw we made more money with the top 3. So I told her, I said, well, I'm going to take a chance. I want to use the top 3 because I don't want to go conservative. I want to go all in on it. And so I had to force it to do that. The out of sample universe on the bias of the news, when we took the top winners out, it still performed well. What else? It did well in the 2022 bear. And I had to create a README. And then it showed where the bot was supposed to buy 157 shares of TQQQ, but it had bought 312. So it shows that. And it was like a race condition, place but not filled. And it explains what happened here. And so the key takeaways are trading systems are software engineering problems first, machine learning problems second. So that's all that is. And then just questions on that. But that's it.
Nice, awesome. That was very thorough.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. Cool. So were those strategies that were trading using AI, or was the last one seemed like it was one that was more deterministic, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I said next, try, I'm gonna use AI to make the trades to see how it does. And I think well, before I do that, I want to trade with options. I want to see how options perform using those algorithms and to see
Makes
if I
sense.
can, yeah, because options are more volatile. And so you can either score big on it or lose big. But I'm kind of curious on that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot that you can do with options, right? You could definitely take a lot of risk if you want to.
Yeah,
That's for sure. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Nice. All right. Thanks, Stacy. It's great.
good, thanks.
That was great, Stacy. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these strategies that trade these leveraged ETFs, I mean, those seem to be ones that are more likely to beat the market in my experience, right?
Hmm.
Obviously, there's more risk involved with that, right? So, there's a cost benefit, but every algorithm I've been seeing that like if you don't use leverage or if you don't try to pick individual names, like it's gonna be very hard to beat the market. You know, that's kind of what I've seen. Leverage is kind of it's dangerous, but it's also the one of the best ways I've seen to actually make money or beat the market. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Okay, so we have this strategy running. I just reran this AI strategy because I noticed that it's been generating these things that run every like 30 minutes or something instead. So I changed it to run every 1 day. So let's see how this thing turns out. I feel like I need to look into like why these things are so slow. But we'll see how this AI, this new one that we made works out. But yeah, again, if you guys want to create it, just say make a strategy that uses AI to trade. That's kind of the key here, right? Tell it to use AI to actually place the trades, and it'll make this for you. We also improved on it quite a bit too. So if you're like missing an API key, we'll tell you that now. We also added in the ability to do like news trading with Alpaca News. I haven't had a chance to trade to test that too much yet, but I think that's like a pretty important thing for agents to have, right? Because you'll have like price data, you'll have the news. We want to start adding other data sources. I mean, you could do it right now. You can kind of tell it to use the Federal Reserve data or whatever, and it can kind of figure that out on your own, on its own. But we also want to have like these built-in things that just do that too, to make your life a little bit easier. But yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Stacy. Like the returns are crazy with these things, but there's also a major bias, right? Like for example, Mark, you and I were talking yesterday, right? Like why don't we just back test this thing going back further? And there's some validity to that, right? Like why don't we back test it further back? I agree with that, right?
Hmm.
But there's also a huge bias, right? Because the further back you go, you're getting into training data, right? Like ChatGPT, I think their training data ends like mid 2025, last time I checked, right? Gemini is probably something similar, right? So if you're back testing over the past year, you could reasonably expect it's probably pretty accurate and not like it doesn't know about the future yet. But if you're backtesting back to like 2020, like most of these AI models know exactly what happened, right? They know when COVID happened. They know it was in March. They know, there's another big drop in the markets in 2022. So, and you can't lobotomize the markets. Like they know that this happened and what date it is, right? So to run a backtest like this that's completely pure and free of bias is pretty much impossible, right? Um, so I'm a big proponent. Like what I want to start doing is just running these things forward testing, right? I think that's going to be the big proving factor. We're getting these back testing results that are like crazy, 300% a year, 400% a year. That's amazing. And I'd love to believe that. But I'll believe it when I see it, right? Like it's one thing to back test that. It's another story to forward, like run that thing and see how it actually does in real life trading over the next couple weeks or months, right? I think that's a very important point there, Stacy.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if I got lucky today, but on both algorithms, I made like over $200 off of 10,000. So I didn't lose, but that's just one day.
Yeah. Well, let's see, right?
Yeah.
I just launched an algorithm right now for AI. I don't know if you saw me do that, but we'll see how that works. That's using Gemini. I want to run the exact same algorithm, like literally the exact same thing with like Grok, Gemini, Anthropic, and OpenAI, and just have them all compete. And let's see which one does better.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of fun to do to turn into like a little newsletter or something too. Like we can make that a little series of like watching the AIs compete against each other. I think it'd be pretty fun to do from like a marketing perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got this thing back testing. It definitely is very slow. My guess is probably the reason why it takes so long to start up is probably because when the AI starts, it downloads so much data on all these different symbols, and that download probably takes a while, and then it like actually goes off and starts. This thing's been running for I don't see how long. Oh, hey Lukey. You want to say goodnight?
Pills.
Yeah. You want the pills, Lukey? Yeah. You want to say hi?
Hey, Luke.
Say hi,
Hi,
Albert.
Luke.
Hi.
Hey, Albert.
Hi.
There they are. You want to see them? There's Albert.
Hey.
There we go.
What's that?
There's Stacy and his motorcycle. You see that?
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle, yeah. Yeah, and that was Albert with the big globe in the background. Awesome. And there's Kelly. There's Kelly. I say hi, Kelly.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Kelly.
Aw, how's your night?
How was your day today, Lukey?
Birthday.
It was a birthday today. Yeah,
Whose
was it
birthday?
someone's birthday at school?
Good.
It was good. Da 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 good. Okay.
It was a good day.
Yeah, you had a good day, Lukey? Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Very
Did you
cool.
have fun at school?
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle, yeah. Stacy really likes your motorcycle.
Yeah, I see.
Wait till you see it in person, kiddo.
Cycle.
Yeah, motorcycle.
I'm
Wait till
about to
you
wait
hear
till
it.
so
Like
you can see it
vroom,
real
vroom, vroom,
quick.
vroom.
Child.
By motorcycle. Kiddo, you're funny. Yeah, motorcycle, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Nikki, are we ready
Okay.
to go?
Bye. Good night,
Bye.
Lukey.
Hi,
Say
Luke.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
This.
Thank you, Lukey. All right, I love you, kiddo. Bye, Bills. He's, for some reason, this kid has like an obsession with my vitamins. Like I take them in the morning, and I like go through the pills. Like there's like my B vitamins, whatever. And he was pointing at the melatonin. He like loves these things. He like literally said, "Buy pills." Like for some reason, he's obsessed with these things. Yeah, funny things. Okay, cool. All right, so back to it. Let's where did this go? I want to share it. Like, look at these results. These results are insane. So here is another run using Gemini, basically saying just make as much money as possible. 43% return over a 2 week period amounts to 4.8 million% return annually. That's kind of crazy. Backtest this over 6 months. Actually say over 2 years. I'm gonna run that. We'll just see what happens. So it seems like it actually goes fast once like the beginning loading time is finished. So maybe we'll have to look into how to speed that up a bit.
Well, that's really, I mean, because that's the last back test you did was over a year, and
Yeah.
I'm just like really curious, But I'm still a little bit dubious about the assumption that uh it's I mean it's looking at the stock prices, right? I mean, and not necessarily the um what's going on in the world. I mean, I agree that you can't know that it's not doing that and knowing that ahead, but it seems to me that there is some validity to going back further, So
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
anyway,
that's why I'm doing a
yeah,
2-year back test right now, right? So we'll see
yeah,
how it
yeah,
does in 2 years.
yeah,
And the other thing is just cost. Like it's expensive to run these things,
yeah,
which
right. You mentioned that, right?
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that solves this dilemma is that you got to run them live and see what happens. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
there's no getting around that, right? Like, I mean, we can back test and we can see how it works, and I agree with you. Like, back testing is very valuable, right? And I wouldn't totally discount it because of like, whatever the model's doing. But nothing is going to be like actually trading these things live and seeing what happens. That's just the truth, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool. Okay, so we got this back test going. Let's see how this thing does over a 2-year time period. Again, all I said to it was make a strategy that uses AI to trade, tell it to make as much money as possible. That's literally all I wrote to the AI. That's it. That was the full strategy. So if you guys want to try that out, if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, there it is, part of the homework. I think it's a fascinating thing to try out. And now it actually like works quite well on our website. Last week when I showed you guys, it was still buggy. This week, it's like way more consistently being able to do this, right? The only thing is that you need to get your API keys, right? Your Gemini or whatever API key you want to use here.
Yeah, I'm actually working on this right now as we go through class. So if I get some results, I'll show them in
Awesome.
class.
Yeah, let me know what you get. Very
Okay.
curious to see what you find. Yeah, because these things are it's crazy. I mean, if these back tests are anywhere near correct, like, I mean, I'm going to put a bunch of money into this, let's see what happens. Right. I'm actually in the process right now of moving a bunch of my money from Fidelity to Schwab. So that because Schwab is a broker that we can actually work with. So I'm going to have like a bunch of sub accounts with Schwab. And I'm going to run a few of them with AI and a few of them with other things. Because I've been manually managing my investments through Fidelity and just these algorithms just kick my ass. Like I can't keep up with these things. Like they're so much better than I am that like it just doesn't make sense for me to trade manually anymore. So like for example, let's go to the marketplace. Let me show you this new algorithm that we launched. This one's not an AI powered one, but Smart Money Concepts, TQQQ Smart Money Concepts. This one we just launched is up 5.4% already. Like that's pretty crazy for it to be up that much that fast. We launched this like a week ago. And the back testing results are pretty crazy too. It's like 42% a year, right? So like very, very impressive results. Um, so yeah, I mean like, I'm a big fan of all this stuff, as you guys know, obviously. Cool. Okay, awesome. All right, so that's our homework. Any other questions around any of that before we move on? Cool. Okay, so let's talk about futures. Okay. So we're gonna talk about futures and options today. Um, This has got a lot easier than when I last taught this session. We did a lot of stuff around this. Back in the day, you used to have to get data bento for data, which was $180 a month. You got the first month off $50, so it's like $130 a month for futures data. That is no longer required. Now you could use just BotSpot itself. We automatically can get that for you. We get it from Interactive Brokers, and we're able to provide you that data for free, right? So it's not going to be as good as Data Bento. Like Data Bento can go back further and has like a bunch of bells and whistles that Interactive Brokers doesn't. I think Interactive Brokers, you can go up to like 2 years back, whereas Data Bento, you can go back like 10, 20 years. So if you want like really good backtesting data for futures, Data Bento is still the best one. But if you're cool with something that's free, available already, just use the bot spot auto with the data, and they'll get you there pretty quickly. For trading, right now, these are the only brokers that could trade futures. You'd have their either make an account with Tradeovate or with Project X. Okay. With Tradeovate, you need a separate data source. We'll say need another data source. We should say Data Bento, but you don't need Data Bento. You could use Interactive Brokers as well. because